bringing you the best insights, information, and inspiration for building the champion's mindset. This is the Charge Up Powercast. Here's Victor Pisano.
Welcome to Season 3, Episode 20 of the Charge Up Powercast. Today we're going to be talking about 2 ears and 1 mouth. Remember that when you were first told that, and the intent was for you to listen twice as much as you talk. Now, as we've grown older, I believe the proportions have swayed a bit. We tend to talk more than we listen. We don't listen with intent. We may not listen with empathy. So all those things that made listening so important, enough that they should be done twice as much as speaking, may be fading. But it's okay. It's okay because we have control of that. That is a skill that we have complete control over. And right now, in this very moment, in order for a breakthrough to occur, in order for us to grow as leaders, this is the time. Now more than ever, we need to be listening. We need to be engaging in education, in productive dialogue, a spirited debate, not arguments, one-sided opinions, but rather learning from other people who may be experiencing frustration, confusion, anger, sadness, emotions that we're not feeling from the situation. The only way to gain empathy, the only way to grow through wisdom and experience is to understand it, to have a firm grip. Some of the best leaders can tell you both sides of the debate and can tell you both sides' arguments. And it's because they have so much knowledge and wisdom that they have learned to adapt their personalities to understand. Now, they may tell you how they feel within the argument, but it's going to come with respect. And the reason it comes with respect is because they have empathy. But more importantly, they took the time to learn what the other person's stance was, what their beliefs were. And whether right or wrong, we owe that to other people. You know, friends, that's just simple respect. When we have an opinion, we want to be heard. I know when I say something and I feel very strongly about it. For example, the platform I have with podcasts and blogs and interviews, some of the things I feel very strongly about. And if somebody disagrees with me, if somebody is not on the same page, I can promise you I welcome that. Offer me a different perspective. Tell me to think outside the box because you're investing in me. You're helping me grow. All I have to do is listen to you. You know, in witnessing some of the arguments, what I have found that occurs too often is it's within the first 3 or 4 phrases that people exchange where the argument begins. And I say argument instead of productive dialogue. Once they get past that, the anger and the emotion or the frustration or making sure their opinion is heard, things start to settle down and the true topics begin to emerge. Why waste that emotion at the beginning when you could just start at the topics that mean the most to you? Don't start with a frame of mind that I am right and you are wrong. Start with the frame of mind of let's discuss. If you listen to me, I'll listen to you. And if it ends up us agreeing to just disagree, that's still growth. That's still a productive conversation, especially when you walk away and both of you feel better for it. Listening is growth. Listening is such a beautiful thing when you are able to be in the moment, not have an intent to interrupt, not have an intent to speak louder, to try to persuade, but rather listen. Listen with kindness, empathy, understanding. Let them finish and let it soak in for a second. And sometimes that's difficult because you're penetrating a barrier of something you believe in so strongly that it's taking you outside of your comfort zone. Don't think you have to change the way you are in every argument. Sometimes we have to adjust our personalities. Sometimes we have to adjust our behaviors. But if it's for the overall good and it takes a little bit of effort, it will push us outside our comfort zone. But that's okay because we're growing. And as leaders, we have an obligation to grow. As leaders, we have an obligation to gain as much wisdom and knowledge as we can to pass it on. And we've got to work hard to pass that on because we model the character for others to follow. And as a leader, if you have a narrow frame of mind, then expect the same thing from those who follow. And you do not want to lead a team of people who have a narrow frame of mind. All of us face this challenge every day, myself included. But it's pausing. It's pausing long enough to be self-aware And if you're on social media, don't engage, because nothing comes out of that. In fact, it'll do the opposite. It'll strengthen your negativity, and it'll just reinforce your narrow mindset. Watch. Let it occur and see people's opinions, because I guarantee you 24 hours later, some of those opinions will be pulled. Same thing goes here. If you listen well and you have a great dialogue and you're able to grow, write notes down. Don't just stop at the conversation. When you're done with it, spend some time alone thinking about it, because you will discover questions you still have. And the only way to feel fully educated or to feel you can offer an opinion is to expand upon the thoughts you have, and those will result in questions and answers. Both sides need to engage in this. You know, when you look at stats, it says that we spend the average of 55% of the day engaged in listening and 70% engaged in talking. Let's change that, because leaders who don't listen will eventually be surrounded by people who have nothing to say. So if you have a voice, if you want to make an influence, a positive influence and impact on other people, you have to learn to be understanding, empathetic, and willing to listen. Thank you so much for listening to this Powercast. We greatly appreciate it. If you want to learn more about Charge Up, be sure and visit our website at chargeuptoday.com. Have a great day, and don't forget, my friends, charge up.
Thanks for listening to Charge Up with Victor Pisano. You're invited to subscribe to the Charge Up Powercast at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeart, Google Play, Amazon Alexa, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast provider so you won't miss an episode. You can find links at chargeuptoday.com.